Today I thought we'd talk about poison ivy treatment and what's been working for me, because for those of you that have had it, and you can see I look a little different today because I've been dealing with this poison ivy rash for a little under a week. And it's not ideal, but there are things that many people have in their homes or you can easily get that might help your symptoms. And so I wanted to share those and take you along with me, and that's what's going to be in this video. Welcome to True Freedom Permaculture, where we discuss natural living and how to have a green thumb even if you weren't born with one. I really debated today about whether I should cover this up for everyone's sake because it is unsightly. You can see it's really, especially near the jawline, this is like a newer crop that came up. But then I thought, well, you know, this is real and this happens to a lot of people and it's just part of nature. And it's really humbling, I think, because poison ivy is just, it can stand up for itself. And so as far as treatments go, poison ivy tends to be oily and hot, if you think about that. And so in order to balance it out, anything that you can do to keep yourself, keep your rash area cool and dry is going to help. So staying in air conditioning, if you're lucky enough to have it, that makes things 10 times better. I had to be somewhere the other day where I was stuck somewhere where the AC had broken, and I started to feel like itchy and tingly and prickly again. And so I definitely noticed a difference. Even in this room that I'm filming in, I don't have AC in this room. It's a really nice day actually, so I'm getting a nice breeze, so it's not that hot, but the humidity I can tell is kind of making it flare up. So staying in cool, dry weather is really going to help. The best option is to be able to avoid getting a rash entirely, and the way I know how is with jewelweed. This is jewelweed growing here, and you can see the stem. It's kind of clear and transparent, and you just crush it up and then you spread that liquid over where you were exposed to the poison ivy, and this will prevent you from getting a rash. The thing about jewelweed is that it only seems to work if you're able to apply it to your skin almost immediately after you've been exposed to poison ivy. If you wait for too long, it doesn't seem to work. Okay, well, what if I didn't know I was exposed to poison ivy, and so now I already have the rash? And I'll show you what I did. This is Technu, and it is a topical analgesic antihistamine, and this is something that I use after the rash has developed. So as I mentioned before, hopefully you can get to it before the rash has developed, but if you already have one, this will help stop the itching. And that for me means that I won't scratch it, meaning that it hopefully won't get infected. And so I do feel like this is worth it. This is something that I just keep in my house. I'll link it for you below if you decide you want to buy it. But someone at work had told me about it, and so I just keep it around all the time to have. And the kit that I have also has some like wipes for, you know, right after you're exposed to it, and like a cleansing scrub too. I haven't used the scrubs or the wipes yet personally, but I have used this gel, and it has definitely brought some relief to the itching for me. I think people are under the assumption that if you use herbal remedies, that's all you're going to use, and you don't believe in modern medicine at all. Well, personally, I don't think that they can't coexist. I think they coexist beautifully. Herbs tend to be more gentle. They tend to take a little bit longer because of that in order to go into effect. Not always, but usually. And modern medicine serves a place. The next thing that's been helping me are oats, and I'll show you how I use them. All I do is I take a clean cloth, plain cotton. I wouldn't use synthetic cloths. Just take the cloth, put a small amount of oats here. I maybe have like a teaspoon or so. And then I just kind of fold it up, and I wet it under some filtered water, and I just use this, and it will secrete a slightly slimy, for lack of a better word, substance, and the oats have a cooling and drying effect, and I use this to kind of dab on my face. I will use it right before I apply medication like the Technu, and I do find that it does have a soothing effect. All right, it has been 5 days since I filmed that initial segment when I first showed you my poison ivy rash, and you can see it is so much better. I am wearing eye makeup, but I'm not wearing any face makeup because I purposely wanted to show you the rash exactly how it is. And this is, it's still pretty itchy. Well, I take that back. It's slightly itchy down here. It's really not that bad, but it's starting to get kind of scaly and dry, which is what's been working for me, and drying it out. And I have been really diligent about washing my face with a mild soap, like no fragrances and no dyes or anything. It's just castile soap and water, tepid water, 3 times a day. So morning when I wake up, midday and then in the evening before bed, and I apply that Technu gel, and it just immediately, like in a couple minutes, it just has this cooling effect and it takes away the itch. So therefore I don't scratch it, and that's really been the big thing, is now that I know what it is, I purposely have not scratched it, and so it's not getting infected. I haven't had to go to urgent care. It's something that I can treat at home. If I really want to, like there was a day that I was working and I covered it up with makeup, I can. It doesn't look great, but it doesn't look as, you know, nasty as this. So I would say I'm just going to keep doing it. And yeah, if any of you have any poison ivy remedies that have worked well for you, please let us know. I am going to try other things like bentonite clay and things like that. So whenever I get a poison ivy rash, I hope not to get them, but if I do get them, I kind of look at it, well, it's like an experiment. I can try out all of these things and let you know how they work or not. So anyway, I hope that you don't get any poison ivy rashes, and I hope that if you do, you find something that works well for you. So I will see you guys soon.